Hi, you're watching India Today Global with me, Ishita Mitra. Now, will Trump end the Russia-Ukraine war? Will the US President-elect be able to bring Russia and Ukraine on the same table to negotiate a ceasefire? Well, Russian President Vladimir Putin's latest statement might hold some answers for these questions. You see, Russia's invasion of Ukraine has sparked the biggest geopolitical crisis of our time, with thousands of lives lost, millions displaced, and international relations at a breaking point. The question on everyone's mind is, when will the war end? And in an unexpected turn of events, Russian president has signaled a possible shift towards negotiations. Now, it was a statement that shocked many. In his latest press appearance, Putin declared that he was ready for talks with US President-elect Donald Trump to end the war in Ukraine. Now, if you have been following the international developments, or maybe if you're not, then also you realize the gravity of the statement coming in from Russian president, which means there is some hope on the horizon. Now, Putin further added that we have always said that we're ready for negotiations and compromises. I would again reiterate the importance of these words used by the Russian president. We're ready for negotiations and compromises as soon as Ukrainians accept those as well. Now, these are the statements which have been released very recently. Now, Putin has highlighted that the other side, which of course means Ukraine here, needs to be ready for compromises as well. Now, he said that he's also ready to negotiate with anyone, including President Zelensky. Now, this is also a first of its kind statement coming in from the Russian president, because earlier we have not seen any such statement signaling, a softer stance on Russia's part. But he said that any deal can only be signed with Ukraine's legitimate authorities. And what does that mean here? It means the Ukrainian parliament. Further, Putin also dismissed any possibility of a temporary truce between Russia and Ukraine, insisting that only a lasting agreement, which means a permanent agreement, will end the war. Now, he has also mentioned that future talks should build on an earlier unimplemented proposal which was, discussed in Istanbul, a deal that was seen by Ukrainian leaders as a surrender. So what does this mean for the future of this devastating conflict? Let's understand. As I've been repeating the words of the Russian president, they might sound conciliatory, but the context is very crucial here. If you look at the battlefield developments so far, Russian forces have been advancing across Ukraine, securing key territories in the eastern part of the country. And for years, Russia has painted this conflict as a special military operation aimed at stopping NATO's eastward expansion. But now, with control over a significant portion of Ukraine's eastern regions, Putin is pushing for peace talks with strict conditions. You see, the statement is coming at a very crucial time when Russia has already made gains in the eastern part of the country and continues to secure more gains. But with the Ukrainian president remaining firm on his stance as well, he said that he's backed strongly by the West and he's rejecting any notion of surrendering of Ukrainian sovereignty for the sake of peace, which means he's saying that if any peace deal has to be signed, it has to be signed on our conditions, not on Russia's, which means both the sides have very strong stance, very strong vantage points at the time that they want to come on a table to secure peace for both the countries. Now, the Ukrainian leader has also been meeting European leaders to secure defense commitments from them. We have seen that he was in Brussels, he met French president, he's also been meeting German chancellor, and he's been discussing that how Ukraine can secure more aid from European allies. And remember, this comes at a time when Trump administration is going to come to power in the United States. We're going to see the inauguration of President-elect Trump on 28th of January. And now, with that developments happening on the US front, there's fear that NATO might not be able to provide as much support as it had been in the past for Ukraine. So which means Ukrainian president has been looking towards Europe for more support, and that's why he's been holding a lot of meetings to secure more defense commitments. German Chancellor even dialed US President-elect Donald Trump, where they both agreed that Ukraine war had gone on for too long, and it was important to get on the path to a fair, just and sustainable peace as soon as possible. Now, these three words, fair, just and sustainable peace, the problem with these three words is that they mean very differently for Russia and Ukraine, and that is why a common negotiated plan is required right here, and which Donald Trump claims that he is able to secure. He's saying that he will be able to end the war very quickly, and he'll be able to convince the Russian president to come on the negotiation table. And now, of course, with the statement coming in from the Russian president, it seems like maybe Donald Trump could actually secure a ceasefire in this war. Now you see, if you look at the developments happening on the battlefield, Ukrainian soldiers continue to face mounting casualties, even though Kyiv's forces have launched some bold offenses, such as the one launched in August in Kirk's region. We have been, telling you about this, that a crucial region called Kirk's is where Ukraine launched an offensive in August, and this is where they've made significant gains. And also, this is where North Korean soldiers, alleged North Korean soldiers who have come to help Russia, they have, suffered major casualties. Recently, only yesterday, we saw that South Korea coming out with a statement saying that about 100 North Korean soldiers were killed and over 1,000 were injured in this Kirk's region where Ukraine has launched an offensive. And despite that, there are plans that Kim Jong-un might be able to send more aid and more help for Russia, which means more military aid in terms of equipment such as rocket launchers and more missiles, and also it could send more men to help Russia against Ukraine. Meanwhile, Ukraine has vowed to continue its fight for liberation. So as the war drags on, the question remains, is this truly a moment for diplomacy? Are we actually seeing Putin coming out, offering an olive hand and, maybe saying that, what, it has been going on for too long. Let's come on the table, discuss what are the terms and conditions, and maybe find a path to peace? Or is Putin simply trying to buy time as Russian forces solidify their gains? These are the questions which we do not have answers for as of now. And in the background of these shifting dynamics that you see, you have statements coming in from Zelensky, from Putin, even from Trump. Russia's ties with North Korea continues to deepen. South Korea, I told you, has been complaining against this growing defense ties between North and Russia. They are alleging that all the defense cooperation going on between the two countries poses a major security threat to not only Russia, Ukraine, but also to global security as well. Now you see, reports have emerged that significant military aid from North Korea has been going towards Russia, this including artillery, rocket launchers, as I just mentioned. And meanwhile, while the world is looking at this growing cooperation between Russia and North Korea as a threat, Moscow has described this partnership as very effective. And it has called that this is something that will continue for long. Now, and one thing that I need to mention before we go ahead is that we have been seeing reports of North Korean soldiers being involved in the Russia-Ukraine war, but this is something that both the sides, neither Russia nor North Korea, have officially acknowledged. There has been no official confirmation of such developments on the battlefield. So as the conflict continues, global calls for peace have also been growing louder, but with Russia steadfast in its ambitions and Ukraine refusing to back down, the path to peace remains murky. And with, of course, the world watching very closely the developments, the stakes could not be higher, and the question of whether Putin's olive branch is genuine or just another tactical maneuver remains unanswered. But these are the questions that we cannot answer as of now. But one thing's for sure, that the war in Ukraine is far from over, and its outcome is likely to reshape the future of international relations for years to come. Now, thank you so much for watching this video with me, Ishita Mitra, on India Today Global. Stay tuned to our channel where we simplify geopolitics for you.